Knights Football Weekly on WKLM.
Week 4 of the Knights football preview brought to you once again by Village Motors in Millersburg. West Holmes running into last year's Division 5 state champion in the Orville Red Riders, including one of the top running backs in the state of Ohio last week. And although West Holmes had their first score of the game on a field goal in that first quarter, really kept pace with Orville through much of that first half. It was really two late scores in the second quarter and a touchdown to begin the third quarter that ended up being really the big difference in that contest and that Orville 40-10 win.
Yeah, and a lot of those scores were by one guy, Marquell Parks. He was certainly as good as advertised with one touchdown run to go along with 2 touchdown receptions and a 99-yard kickoff return for a touchdown, proving he can get it done in a variety of ways.
Yeah, despite the loss, you still have to like the fight that West Holmes had in that fourth quarter. Really allowed them to get their only touchdown of the game in that fourth quarter, of course, on that 31-yard run by junior Gavin Freeman in that Knights loss last week. For more on last week, and as well as a look at this week's matchup in the OCC, taking on Mansfield Senior on the road, let's send it out to Brandyn Benter alongside head coach Zach Gardner at West Holmes.
Thank you, Matt. We are here joined by the head coach, Zach Gardner, of the West Holmes Knights here at West Holmes High School. And, Coach, coming off of that loss, now that you've had a chance to take a look at the tape against that very talented Orville team, was the things that you saw in there, were there a lot of things that could be correctable as far as your team goes?
No, absolutely. We need to execute better. There were times where if we would have made a block or made a catch or, made a tackle, we were in position to make tackles, and it just comes down to execution. And that's something we've been working hard on this week in practice is making the play, and we feel we're right there to compete with the Orvilles and the Mansfield Seniors of the world, and it just comes down to making those plays. And we got another opportunity this week against a very good football program to go out there, and if we make the plays, we feel that we can be a very, very good football team.
Absolutely, and as far as that game that is coming up, it's the start of the Ohio Cardinal Conference play, taking on this very talented Mansfield Senior team. What is it that you're looking at as far as the attack and everything getting ready for this one?
Well, we need to make them earn everything that they get. We want them to snap the ball as many times as possible offensively, and force them to drive to beat us. And then offensively, we just have to make plays. We feel there's going to be some plays to be made, and if our kids go out and they execute and they make the block, they make the catch, they make the throw, we feel that we can score some points.
All right, well, thank you for taking the time out to talk to me this week, Coach.
Thank you.
And I have Luke Vess here with me. And Luke, looking towards this Mansfield Senior game and the start of the Ohio Cardinal Conference, what are you looking forward to with this matchup?
Basically, the competition we get. They're a very good team, and basically we can go out and perform and show what we really can do against a good team.
Make sure our offense executes and our defense is there to make plays, make tackles. That way they can't get around us.
Zach Wigton with me of the West Holmes Knights. And Zach, looking forward to this start of the OCC play. What are you looking forward to most?
I'm looking forward to the opportunity to play some really good football teams. We got a lot of good playoff caliber opponents, but we also have the opportunity to put ourselves in the driver's seat of the OCC. So we have a great opportunity ahead of us.
Like to reiterate what Zach Wigton said, I think we have really tough opponents, but also we can play at that level and do well. I think we can achieve all of our goals and meet them. I believe we'll get there eventually, and we're set to go this season, ready to dominate.
All right. Well, thank you for talking to me.
And I'm alongside Mike Kinsey once again at Village Motors. Mike, of course, they're one of those 2020 vehicles that are now in stock. You still have plenty of 2019s, including the 2019 Ford Ranger. And that's proven to be a very popular vehicle.
Yeah, it's a real nice vehicle. It's the right size vehicle for those people that don't want a full-size vehicle, or as I found out, can't fit a full-size vehicle in your garage. So it's a nice, compact vehicle that will fit in your garage for you. And there's some good incentives. The incentives are going to change. We look for those to enhance the incentives on the Rangers. But, yeah, we got a lot to look at, and come down and take a look.
You mentioned incentives. How about financing? What kind of options are available?
Well, on the Rangers right now, they don't have great financing, but there's a lot of good financing out there on the 19s. I know there's a lot of 0% for like 72 months. In lieu of rebates, there's some big rebates out there too, so we just have to sit down and see what works best for your budget.
Well, Mike, West Holmes on the road this week, taking on the very talented team once again in this Mansfield Senior Tiger team.
Yeah, it's always fun to, go to a Mansfield Senior West Holmes game, but after last week's, loss to Orville, I thought that we stuck right in there. We had a lot of valuable players hurt, but I think the future's good for West Holmes, and I look for them to continue to get better each week.
All right, that's Mike Kinsey, rate selection and financing available now at Village Motors. Last year's 35-20 victory over Mansfield Senior in Knight Stadium snapped a 3-game losing streak to the Tigers. Mansfield Senior leads the all-time series with 9 wins and 7 losses. The last time West Holmes won 2 or more in a row was in the span of 2004 through 2006. But this year, Jake, it's going to be a big challenge to get a second run in a row against this year's Mansfield Senior team.
Yeah, definitely when you consider that they do have a 3-0 record with wins over Norwalk, John Hay, and Westerville North, and they've outscored their opponents during that stretch 76-10 so far this season. They're led by senior quarterback Cam Todd, along with wide receiver and corner Angelo Gross, and two-way lineman and Bowling Green commit Anthony Hawkins. So they have plenty of talent on both sides of the ball, Matt.
But the Knights have shown they have plenty of talent as well, obviously, as they continue to learn how to play at the varsity level. And we'll see how the experience of playing against Orville last week could potentially help them out with this week's matchup. Well, stay tuned this week as we take on this West Holmes Mansfield Senior matchup at Mansfield Senior in Arlen Stadium. And tune in for a hometown football Friday night pregame show beginning at 6 p.m. and kick off at 7 o'clock on FM 95.3 and WKLM-FM.com. And don't miss our Knights Weekly Football Preview show each week throughout the Knights football season. For Jake Glasure, alongside Brandyn Benter, also Knights head coach Zach Gardner, I am Matt Croy, and this has been the WKLM Knights Football Weekly Preview Show, brought to you by Village Motors in Millersburg.
Knights Football Weekly on WKLM.